Thanks, guys, for tuning in for another episode of Buying Queensland, brought to you by Edwards and Mills Buyers Agents. Now, I'm very excited today. I'm joined by Heba, who's from Forma Italia, which is an incredible, well, in fact, rather than me talking about it, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about
Hi, everyone.
the brand.
I'm Heba from Forma Italia. We sell Italian kitchens and wardrobes, and we bring it to the Gold Coast, to Australia.
So you guys obviously specialise in high-end client finishings when it comes to kitchens, but also wardrobes and specialised products and things like that. So tell us a little bit more about the process when a client comes in and visits you guys from start to finish.
Yeah, we actually are a bit unique into how we present ourselves. We don't just only do kitchens and wardrobes, we actually do a full fit out. So we specialise in full size projects, but also having said that, we also do the small reno jobs as well. So, and it's not just the high end, we do look like high end because it is all made in Italy. So it just instantly gives you that look and feel. However, we say to our clients we're medium to high end. So in terms of selections, it's quite involved. It's a long process, especially if it's a full project. We go in, we get the plans from our clients, and we look at the oversized project. So starting from the kitchen to the entry to the living spaces, outdoor living area. Some clients have indoor and outdoor livings. Yep. So we do all the wardrobes, the bathroom vanities, butler's pantry, laundry, you name it. Everything. Everything's got cabinetry involved. Yep. We come in. And what that does, it just makes the whole house in full harmony. So from the moment you walk into the house, it just all ties in. So because we are dealing then with the same finishes, we make sure all the tones are in sync, whether it's bench tops, whether it's cabinetry. I can go in later and explain to you about our finishes and how different and unique they are and how kind of it complements each other into the spaces.
Yeah, great. Now, here on the Gold Coast, well, what are the trends that you've noticed over the last couple of years?
Look, it has changed a lot, and it's really good that it has. The market here was a bit conservative when it comes into kitchens and wardrobes and cabinetry. Very coastal, very repetitive, we've seen, and not very courageous, if I may say.
Okay.
So when clients, because it's difficult, and I do understand why it has been difficult, because there isn't a showroom as such as ours where a client can come in and see the combinations of the different door designs. So when I say door designs, a profile of the doors that we have. So we've got things that you can see in Queensland and all. I think, to my understanding, we are the only showroom in Queensland that presents the vast range of door profiles, finishes and textures. So we have doors that are made out of solid wood. We have doors that are made in veneer. We have doors that are made in laminate, glass front, everything, aluminium, concrete doors, actual concrete on the actual door. And look, the list goes on. So when the client walks in here, they see the Italian flair design, but we made sure that it would fit into the Australian market and taste, because we are from here, so we know what works. So our background is Italian, but we don't have full influence of that on the market here in terms of like dictating it so that it makes sure that it looks Italian. No, we made sure that it looks also suitable for the Australian way that we live, with our weather, with our beautiful sunny days, not today, but
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very you've been in Gold Coast. It is people who move up here for the lifestyle, the beach, the coastal.
Exactly.
You guys obviously want to clearly reflect that as well in the design.
Yes, and a lot of entertainment, living, and they want the ease of things. So then we have that also in mind when we suggest whether it's bench tops finishes, whether it's door finishes. So the client walks in and goes, oh, never thought to actually combine stainless steel with some lacquer doors. Or we have a finish material here that's called Phoenix. That's one of the most latest innovative finishes in the world.
What's that called again? Sorry?
Phoenix, so Phenix. Yep. And Phoenix is one of the most matte surfaces that you could specify. So if an architect wants a very matte surface, then that would be the one. And architects know this. And it also, so it won't reflect any lights. It's just the way that it's made. It's made out of nanotechnology.
Yep.
Made out of 98% of recycled paper and 2% resin.
Oh, really?
So it's really cool.
Yeah, well.
Really, really
so
cool.
it's enviro-friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of our factories are green. And the other thing with this surface is that it doesn't have, it won't fingerprint. So it's got anti-fingerprint properties as well.
It's good if you've got kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fingerprints
So
everywhere.
people come here and go, oh, okay, you could do this. Oh, you could do concrete and wood finish. Oh, never thought of that. So it kind of, we found that it gives them the courage to get out of the comfort zone. And because the way we work, once a client commits to us, we transfer their plans into architectural drawings on our systems, and then we actually render the project. Okay. So what that means is that they get a full 3D feel of how their cabinetry would look like. And that's not just belongs to the kitchen. That doesn't just relate to the kitchen. Kitchen, wardrobes, vanities, the whole thing.
Yep.
So when they look at it, go, oh, my God, this is how my house is going to look like? I can't believe it, because we don't just do the cabinets. We actually suggest how the living should be. So we're not afraid to tell people, I think, your space should be this way, or let's turn this that way, respecting the architects and the builders, of course, measures. So we always make sure that we have that continuous communication with the architects, with the owners, and with the builders, because that's our work. So we make sure everyone's happy.
What do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy more working with established renovations or off the plan new build?
Both. Yeah. To be very honest.
Which one's more of a pain to work with?
Look, maybe renovations are easier because the walls are there, unless they're knocking all of them down.
Yep.
So then, of course, it's a bit easier. Consider all our stuff comes from Italy.
You got the parameters you work with.
Exactly. Yeah. But having said that, we've done many houses working off the plans where nothing is still up yet.
Yep. Because
we have a dedicated team that goes on site and continuously measures and checks on the builders, because we do have some. Like in our industry, we know, it just happens, bit of hiccups here and there where a plumber goes in and decides to place something where it doesn't need to be. So if we're not continuously there checking on our work and where our cabinetry would go, then, and we pride ourselves in that we actually care about our clients' projects, because we want to make sure that it's an easy renovation or an easy build where we come in. We try as much as we can to make it easier for them, to avoid them from an extra expense or an extra delay. That's why we make sure that we're always there and present.
So give us an example of the type of client that walks in through your doors here at Forma Italia. I think people might hear, listening to this, Italian, class, high-end, they're probably thinking the budget isn't going to fit in. But from what I understand, it's really customised to the client's budget as well.
100%.
Yeah, so give us a bit of an idea of that kind of ideal client. They walk in and who are the people you're working with?
All sorts, actually. Yeah. All sorts of people. We've got high-end clients, and we've got the clients that thought they can only afford local-made kitchens. So the thing is that where we come quite strong, why we're not very as expensive as we probably should be. And I'll tell you why I say that. It's because we have a very strong relationship with Italy, with who supply us. And we've been very lucky because we've been in the industry for 25 years plus. And that gives us the access to very kind of high discounts to how we import our goods. Being in the industry as well for so long gives us the experience into how you import and how and where you can save. And all of those automatically go to the client pocket rather than my pocket. As opposed to if we go to interstates, showrooms like ours, I could easily say it's instantly probably double than what we would have things for.
Yeah, right.
Of course, it depends what product. That's not a general rule, just to give you an idea. But so the feeling of people coming in, because it doesn't cost them anything to get a quote done, they say, okay, so this is my plans. What do you think it would be, to get? And we'll just, because everybody loves to wander around beautiful things. So they do wander and they go, I like this. Oh, no, that's not my style. So we pick up what the client likes. And we say, well, how about if I just give you an idea of what it would probably cost you? Because they're in the process doing a build, they already know how much things would cost them. Like you would budget to what, the build of cost would be. So we'll say, okay, we'll just approximate and see what you what it will come at to provide you with that, and that, according to these finishes that you just demonstrated that you like. So then once we do, we do have a meeting and we present them with the quotation, listing down. Probably most of the time, I'd say 9 out of 10, people look at it and go, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that."
Yeah, right.
I'm not. This is absolutely.
Yeah, you're not just saying that for this podcast.
Not at all. Like, genuinely, I have witnesses.
Well, I think it's a really important point to make, because I think it shows the relationship that you guys have with the overseas manufacturers is key to the product, one, but secondly, like you said, that keeping it affordable for anyone who walks in through the door based on what it is they want to create at their home. And looking around the showroom, which we'll have cutaways and that showing around at the moment, but it's great for people to come in somewhere and touch and feel and see.
100%.
I've built houses in the past as well, and I'm a very visual person, and you want to get in, touch and see, and it changes your perspective on things for what you want to bring into your kitchen. Do you find that people walk in here with an idea of what they want to create, and then they walk out with a different concept? Yeah,
yes,
and that is purely just because
it
they
does
want.
happen. Look, we have clients where they have a very clear vision of what they want, and we have clients who have no idea, but they'd be sick of what they've got at the moment and they want something different. And yes, it does happen where people walk in thinking we're definitely going with a very traditional look, and then yet they walk out with a different design. Kind of, we don't do much ultra modern. I'd say like a bit more contemporary, where it looks like a designer kitchen, but not necessarily.
What's most popular?
Most popular
kitchens.
Kitchen and wardrobes. There's a huge lack of good quality wardrobes in Queensland, if I can say. There are a lot of good quality local made, yes, but it's quite difficult at this current time because of what's happening. Well, it's COVID, it's increased pricing, it's just becoming unreasonable. See, that's what I wanted to touch on earlier, is that the reason why we come in a little bit surprisingly competitive to the local market is because the local market has just been quite difficult to acquire materials, and the cost of materials has gone higher. Everything comes from China. There are delays. The cost of the containers from China has gone up, etc. Where with us, yes, it has gone up as well for us coming out from Italy, but not as much as coming out from China. So,
and that's purely just because your relationship at the front end with the manufacturer.
No, also. It's just more higher demand from China, so they've just put up the prices. So I'll give you it's gone times 10, the cost of container coming out of China to here. Right. With us, obviously, it was more expensive being further away, but I'd probably say it's probably gone double for us. But having said that, our factories back in Italy are quite smart and very commercial in thinking. So, like one of our suppliers, I just came from the Salone del Mobile, which is the fair of the furniture.
Where? What? What's that called? You said that really?
They call it Salone, which is Salone di Mobile.
Salone
del Mobile.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, that one, furniture. So it's a design fair that happens every year in Milan, but every 2 years, it's about kitchens mainly and bathrooms. Okay. So we just came back from Milan.
Yeah, nice.
And one of our largest, actually, supplier was not present. For the reason being, he said, the owner, that instead of going, those shows cost a lot of money to be there. We're talking about €1 million to be in the stand and all the marketing and everything. So a huge amount of money.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Because they're big brands, so they take a huge stand.
Yep.
I've got footage of it that is really mind-blowing. So, and you can't finish it. We were there for 5 days. We could not finish all of it. It was just ridiculous because there's art and there is a lot more, around furniture.
Yep.
One of the suppliers decided not to go because he said instead of going and spending that money and doing the price increase that he was going to do in September, he said that I'd rather pass that saving to my existing clients because they're very busy already.
Good on you.
Everybody knows that, and I will not be present. However, they can come to something they call it Fuori Salone, which is the showrooms that did not participate inside the fair. They had their showrooms, which are also in Milan because they're big brands, for the clients to come and visit them in their showrooms. And they had everyone there, and they had the vibe, and they had DJ, and they had all that kind of stuff, and food, etc.
That sounds like a lot more fun.
Yeah, no, it was actually. Everyone was partying at night, and we were dead. And we visited them, and we had a good chat, and we had then, of course, catch-up meetings and to discuss our business. Yeah. But so that's one example to why our pricing haven't gone up to the roof, and why we can still be competitive.
It's great to hear that he himself and his brand has identified that. Yeah, and passing that on to his clients.
Send a letter way before the show, and some people like Aran, for example, they went the kitchen there behind us. That's Aran, and they were there and they were present and they had a beautiful stand.
So tell us a little bit about this trade show.
The trade show, it was beautiful. It was good. Very tiring.
So what type of obviously trade shows are created for people to display their products, but new possible trends or new products that are coming to the market? Was there anything over there that you might see over here in the Gold Coast?
To be very, very, if I can put this in the most modest way possible, everything that, yes, it was beautiful to see the setups, but there wasn't something that we did not have here in our showroom, which I was quite impressed and surprised. Yeah. Because the brands that we work with, they are very forward, so they're already quite ahead. There might be a bit of motorizing, like getting more automation done into kitchen island benches and things like that. Even that we already have in one of our suppliers. So I didn't see anything that was kind of predominantly the fashion this year, if I may say. Yep. It was very, very relaxed, it was relaxing to my eyes, if I could put it this way. It was just normal to me, as if I was in my own showroom. Just more colors, maybe. Being in Italy, in Europe, there's a lot of darkness of in terms of colors and fashion. Yep. However, we still have all the other ranges of different colors, a lot of different stones. So we specialize a lot in porcelain benchtops, which is it's been for us since we've opened let's say, the benchtop to do.
Is this porcelain?
This is porcelain. This is porcelain. And we've got beautiful ones downstairs in the showroom where they have kind of the latest finishes in Italy. One of them is actually called the Brice Caprea, which is a designer and an architect very well known in Italy. She decided that the stone is just so beautiful. All the porcelains are, let's say, and not an imitation is probably a cheaper word, but they're more richer than that of the actual real stone. So they make sure the print, the 3D printing, is just very close to the actual stone from the mine. So they take out a block and they try as much as possible to copy that and put it into. So when you look at the porcelain benchtop, it looks just as the real stone. And we actually have a lot of clients where they walk in and they go, is this really not stone? And we're like, no, it's not stone. Yeah, no,
I think when I came in last time, you showed me through. And
the wider. So the architect said that, that's wow, that's so cool. We should use that. And so that's been a fashion, but we've already had that here for 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Things like that. I saw a lot more finishes, more probably strong colors. Like we've got the green, we've got the red, we've got the a bit more colors.
What are some tips that you can give to anyone? I'm just going to relate it back to kitchens because when it comes to our clients we work with, it's always comes up in their brief. Kitchens. Kitchen and master bedrooms are generally the two areas that people want to get right and spend the most money on. So when it comes to, I guess, formulating their kitchen, is there any tips that you give to clients to consider and think about? Or you purely just go, tell us what you're after, then we'll show you what we've got and then we'll make it work?
Look, we like to build a relationship with our clients because we're all different. So each client, men and women equally now love to entertain and do cooking and all that. So one of the most important things is that find out what kind of appliances do they have a preference, because that can dictate your cabinetry spaces and the look of the kitchen. Yep. So that's one thing. Second,
appliances being your dishwasher,
ovens, fridges, because we like to integrate most of our fridges and most of the appliances, dishwashers, etc. Yep.
I'm a big fan of integrated fridges.
Yes, love it. Yeah, just
great.
the sleek look. Look, some people who would go with the traditional look, they want a nice big, double French door fridges where they'll be exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to understand, because that dictates the style of the kitchen.
Yep.
And other things people might have is that we ask them, do you have a preference of, your range hood, again, to be integrated? Do you want it exposed?
Mm-hmm.
That also can drive the style of the kitchen. Functionality, practicality, we ask them, do they have anything in preference? As soon as we understand the style that they're after, we start putting it down into sketches and into design. And then we take it from there and then we build it up.
Okay. Yeah, great. Let's go to master suites now. When I was here last time, you showed me through some of these cabinetries that you've got. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
It really is, Yeah, like I see some of this stuff you've got here, like behind us, in the background there, and it's kind of a bit of a dream walk-in robe for me personally. Basically what you see here, but some of the things I was unaware of is that the top racks there, how you can pull that down. There's just a lot of great creativity when it comes to functionality and the use of space. Is that something that you guys obviously really pride yourself on, and are clients really blown away by
100%.
some of the options that they have?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, master walk-ins are a huge plus when it comes into a design of a property, of a house, and if whether it was to sell or whether to keep, because it's a lot of it just elevates a place. It just makes it look a bit more luscious, and we can do that. We have a lot of accessories like you've seen. That just adds a different kind of dimension to the wardrobe rather than it being just shelves and drawers. We have things like glass front drawers. You could have different finishes of glass, like mirrors glass or a bit of reflections in it, and that just adds, again, another level to it, just that luxury hotel feel.
Yeah,
so
that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah,
you just walk in. We work a lot with paneling, so the paneling from your wardrobes can actually go into your bedrooms. Again, add that another level of having it like a hotel feel room, but comfy, cozy, like a hotel wants you to feel. That's what we are going. Yeah, look, we are proud of being able to do that and actually presenting it here.
To my right here is more of a, what would you call that style here?
Hampton
Hampton
style, traditional Hampton style.
Extremely popular on the Gold Coast in certain areas. I think the last 2 or 3 homes that we've bought, they've either clients been inspired to renovate to create this. We found the last 6 or 12 months, and I'll ask you the question if this is something you've seen in clients recently wanting more this Hampton style here on the Gold Coast to what we see.
Actually, it's probably it's diminishing. Let's say.
It is it? Okay, and that's only recently, the last couple of months.
No, actually more probably.
More? Yeah, okay.
I think I probably have only one client who's ordered that type of style.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Most of our orders, most of our clients are with more modern. And when I say modern, it's all what you've seen downstairs. So it's not really. It's not really modern, but it's more kind of just cleaner, cleaner, more contemporary sort of.
Do you like that? Well, what's your favourite style?
Oh, I'd probably say contemporary.
Contemporary? Yeah, which is what we're talking about downstairs.
100%. I just love our woods, love our doors, because our doors are so... See, I think the Hampton came up really quite popular because people were tired of the plain door, right? And I don't blame them. So just plain, simple, no profile doors. Yep. The profile doors came up to elevate the plain doors and give them a character.
Yep.
And that's when it became popular. And because on the Gold Coast and most of the kitchens are white, so then it became the look to go for. And mixing it with the oaks, with the timber oaks, etc. When you see the amount of doors that we have here and what you can achieve on your fronts, it's just you just won't help yourself by just go for that.
Do you find that clients with more options become harder to make a decision?
It can. On their first visit, they say, "Oh, this is a bit overwhelming." But because we are experienced, we very quickly deselect, if you like, all the colors or all the finishes that it's not their style, and then present them with only the ones that they would be more appealing to them. Yep. So then it's easy to narrow it down as soon as you know your client, and that's what we like to do. Always like to know our client.
Biggest question I've got for you is what's your kitchen like?
My kitchen.
Your kitchen.
My kitchen. Simple.
Simple?
Simple.
Yeah.
Functional, practical.
Have you taken a lot of inspiration from your work?
I just designed it for me.
Yeah.
Would I like it to be for me? Yeah.
It's
I love cooking.
You do?
So
Yeah,
I do.
okay,
I do.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I do cook. And so for me, it's very important for it to be practical, functional, but also look nice and clean. We have very busy lifestyles, having such a business. So it's very important to go for surfaces that are, easy to clean. So the porcelain stones, nice big sinks, things like that. Nice pantry where you check everything in.
It's a really good point you make. So we cover on two things here. So if you do love to cook and you spend a lot of time in the kitchen, what are some things to keep in mind? You just touched on a few there, but maybe just reiterate.
So porcelain benchtops are a huge thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, marble is beautiful, but
why?
Because you don't need to maintain it.
Okay.
You don't need to seal it. You don't need to polish it. You don't need to worry about wine getting spilled over it or colored spices to go and stay there. Everything just comes off.
Okay, right.
That's a nice thing with them. You have an abundance amount of finishes. You can have them in, whether it's matte or gloss. You have different thicknesses. So for me, it's easy. So don't need to worry about it. Look, I grew up with marble and I love marble. I've had it on the floor. I've had it on everywhere.
Yep.
But yes, I love it. But I don't want to clean it.
Right.
I don't want to seal it.
Fair enough.
I don't want to worry about it.
So why would people choose marble over porcelain?
Because
just
there's
a style finish.
No, style finish is you can achieve both. There are a few tiny limitations, maybe with the porcelain, but very, very little and minor. I guess it's more the education of porcelain is actually not your cheaper option. Porcelain is actually a premium product.
Right.
So it's just to get to there because it's still new. And I understand that. It takes time for people to digest this and to, it takes time for things for a transition, like just everything else. Yep. Where in Europe, in Italy, in Germany, in wherever, in London, it's in England, it's all mostly porcelain.
Yeah, okay.
Well, look, we have big villas here that are, we're talking 20, 30 million plus mansions where the money is not a question for the client to put marble or granite or, or natural product. They wanted porcelain because they thought at this point of life, I don't want to be able to, tell my guests, don't put your glass of wine there because it will stain or, So it's actually a luxury product to put in.
Okay. So what if you're an entertainer when it comes to kitchen design? Well, what are some things maybe to think about? Bench space would be one of them. Seating,
practicality, having a smart living space designed where you'd have, if it was an outdoor area, then have that also, smartly designed. If you have a bar area, you'll have that, all kind of in sync, working together. It's not just around your kitchen area. You got to think about your whole home. Of where you entertain, where do you hold your, for me, in my opinion, you cook in your kitchen and you don't want everyone crumbed up on top of you while you're cooking. No. So create a bit of a distance, if you like, where you could mingle, maybe your partner mingling with your guest and you leave your cooking, you go out and mingle and, have clean spaces, linear, easy to clean, a lot of functionality, a lot of drawers, your pull-out rubbish bins, all these kind of things, your zip tap, where it will be, etc. Things like that you have to consider if you're an entertainer.
It's very popular here, those open homes, because of the weather. Generally, most of the time of the year is quite warm. You have those breakfast benches that open up to the back patio, the canal-style living encourages a lot of that entertainer living. I'm sure you'd see many, many more design input being put into those entertainment areas in the backyard.
We do a lot of, we call it like kitchen and barbecue or wet bar and we do a lot of those, and they are usually a carry-on from the kitchen space, and we make sure that it just flows. And a lot of people have like also bar that is separate, and we make sure that also flows and goes. We see also different styles. Yes. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure every home you've worked with is amazing, but do you have like one home that you remember working?
If I say one, then my other client will be upset.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I'm not going to
it's
say
like
names.
When we talk about some of the homes we purchased.
To be honest with you, I love every single project, whether it's small or big, because
it creates a new challenge every time?
It does, of course, yes. And you see the transition. Probably the The ones that I favor, the big ones are nice because you have, a lot of room to play, and, you're kind of more relaxed, and you have the luxury of doing different things. And the ones that are a bit more challenging is the old renos that you want to transform them and make them look like they are wow. These are the ones that I like, actually.
Yeah.
We've done one in, it's a good size kitchen, beautiful, but we just transformed the whole kitchen area, and we just created a beautiful long living space, and it just looks like a $1 million reno.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, where it wasn't, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything that you kind of see that's immediate in the future here with Gold Coast, with the current renovations? And there's been a lot of challenges with labour and cost of renovations and things like that. Has that been impacting
luckily,
you guys much at all?
Not much,
Yeah.
because we, like I said, nothing is made locally. So we're not dependent on anything that is local, which is a plus for us. Everything gets made in Italy, and everything gets shipped from Italy. So once the goods reach here, then of course we're just dependent on the client's house, whether it's ready or not ready. That's out of our control.
Yeah. You mentioned before you have people working for Forma Italia who actually go out on site.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that person's job and how they operate.
So we liaise a lot with, like I said earlier, with builders and architects, and make sure. So our team, we've got a team that goes out and supervise and checks everything that is built to our plans and specifications, and they're respected. So the builders get a copy of all of our plans, whether it's lighting where it needs to go when it comes in, because our kitchens have underneath recessed lighting, and the wardrobes as well, vanities, etc. Or it's just the measurements of the actual cabinetry itself, the piping, the sinks, the stove, all these things. So we go on site and we make sure that everything where it needs to be for our cabinetry to go in. And why we do that is that because we want to make sure that the client will not encounter any delays when our cabinetry comes in, and also avoid any extra costing if no need to be. And then we have our own installers that will come out and actually fit out the job as well.
Yeah. So you guys are very hands-on.
We are, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't just supply and walk away. We make sure it's done to the last second. Yeah. The last screw, everything done completely.
And that last moment of handover is obviously the biggest.
Of course, because you see the big smiles on the client faces and how happy they are. And that's kind of very rewarding.
Yeah, love it. Finally, mate, before we let you go, thank you so much for jumping on. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having us on with you
you're
guys.
welcome. Have you got any final little style tips for anyone listening or watching when it comes to, you can pick anything in the home?
Yeah,
kitchen.
I think I'd say be courageous.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to add in texture, and just have an open mind when you're designing your kitchen. Bear functionality and practicality at the back of your mind. And make sure it is well designed, and looks beautiful.
Where do you draw your inspiration?
I think I'm glad and happy to say that our suppliers have quite a lot of beautiful ideas that are very inspiring. I do like few different designers and architects that I kind of follow when I have the time. But majorly, I'd actually be very comfortable to say the suppliers that we work with, they're very, very inspirational.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Sitting down.
My absolute pleasure,
Taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
It's a beautiful showroom here. For anyone in the Gold Coast area, you're coming and visiting or in the area, please call in.
Yes.
You're welcome walk-ins, I'm sure.
100%.
Anyone.
That's what we're here for. Yes, anyone and everyone. Yes.
It's a beautiful showroom. You get to see what is actually available on the market today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening.